Top of the SportsMax zone for this Tuesday. Match day 2 in the UEFA Champions League kicked off this afternoon with 7 matches. Let's have a quick look at those results now. Victoria Pleasant beaten at home 2-0 by Inter Milan. Tottenham beaten at Sporting 2-0. Liverpool winning 2-1 at home against Ajax. Bayern defeating Barcelona 2-0. Club Brugge 4-0 over Porto. Marseille beaten 1-0 at home by the Germans Eintracht Frankfurt. And Bayer Leverkusen, despite their poor domestic form, getting a 2-0 victory over Atletico Madrid. Let's start with Group C, where Barcelona and Bayern Munich, 2 former champions, went into today's clash at the Allianz Arena in good form, having both registered comfortable wins on match day 1 last week. Let's have a look at those highlights now.
Meeting underway, 3rd in the Bundesliga, hosting 2nd in La Liga. Both teams unbeaten this season and looking to lay down an early European marker. Kimmich, here's Lewandowski rolling it in, and Rafinha almost in there. This is Sabitzer losing out. Lewandowski initially winning it back. Rafinha into Gavi. Now it's with Pedri. Oh, good save, Manuel Neuer. It's 2 minutes.
Yeah, 1 or 2. I mean, they passed it, and they thought they'd done enough. Pedri gets enough power behind it.
Set him off completely in the wrong direction. And Barcelona countering, and it's with Lewandowski, and it was a chance.
That the first touch. Maybe the occasion, he snatched at it a touch, taking it a bit earlier than he might have.
Here's Busquets into Marcos Alonso, getting well forward. Lewandowski goes free in the middle, and Neuer paws it away. And here come Barcelona once again. This time it's Gavi, collected by Rafinha. Now Robert Lewandowski. Rafinha with a shot. Oh, that whistle past the bottom of the upright. Mane in the middle, Thomas Muller as well. You're right, Alan. Muller has hardly touched the ball in this first half. He might do now as Musiala sent it in. Muller goes for it.
A firm, clear shout, this one. Real mess in the end.
And here comes Pedri now for Barcelona, rolling it in. Lewandowski. Big challenge there from Mazraoui.
Oh, huge challenge.
And Barcelona playing much of the football. And here's Rafinha with nearly the perfect start to the second half for Xavi's team.
He caught it beautifully. He's got the time and space, hasn't he, to...
Joshua Kimmich with the delivery, and it's the opening goal of the match.
Hernandez attacks. Nowhere near it, the keeper. It's a smash and grab from the Germans at the moment, having come second best for most of this match. First half.
Mazraoui finding Musiala. He's got Sane up alongside him here. Leroy Sane bursting through. Great chance for number 2. Whoa! Leroy Sane!
Absolutely lethal showing. Some great finishing here. Sane, who got himself... a couple of goals, you might say. I think the second against Inter Milan was given as an own goal, but he's been in great form lately. He certainly was in Italy on match day 1, and that could be a big goal in the context of tonight and the group.
A decent Everton goal, didn't he? It was won back by Goretzka. Here comes Musiala. This could spell more trouble for Barcelona. It is Bayern Munich who prevail in this heavyweight encounter once again, as they've tended to do in the modern era against Barcelona.
And as you saw earlier, Inter Milan beat Victoria Pleasant in the other Group C match. Pleasant played the last 30 minutes with 10 men after Pavel Buka was shown a red card in the 61st minute. Let's look at the group table now and see how things are setting up. Bayern Munich in control, 6 points, now taking control of Group C. Barcelona left on 3 with Inter, and Pleasant bottom of the table at the moment. Now the newest member of our analyst pool, Nick Blackman, and a SportsMax veteran, Brent Sancho, joining us now. Nick, can I start with you, because this is a match that was gripping from start to finish. Barcelona had more attempts on goal, they had more attacks, they had more completed passes, they had more ball possession. Were they unfortunate to lose in the way that they did?
Yes, good evening, first of all. Yeah, I would totally have to agree with you there. Barcelona in the first half were totally dominant. They created numerous chances. It was a game of many chances. You see Lewandowski's missed a couple of chances there on his return back to the Allianz Arena, which was very unfortunate for him. I know he would have been dreaming of scoring back there last night. In the first half, Barcelona were too dominant, and you're wondering for Bayern Munich, do they actually have enough in attack? You've seen Mane and Muller making the same runs, and you're thinking things are not quite clicking. But in the second half, they've come out all guns blazing, and Leroy Sane has really stepped up to the plate since Lewandowski's left, and he's been an amazing, and he's looking like he's going to be the main man there.
Brent, you, a former international defender, talk to us about the job that the Bayern Munich defenders did on Lewandowski today. He looked a little off his sharpest best, Lewandowski, but you could see that there was an appetite for the Bayern Munich defenders who know him well to ensure that he didn't have the comfort to shine.
Yeah, there were some question marks. First of all, good afternoon to everyone that's listening and viewing. There were some question marks as it relates to the Bayern Munich defense. Of course, they let Upamecano, whether or not one or the other would start. But certainly in the performance that we saw this afternoon, particularly by Upamecano, who I thought was absolutely outstanding, alongside Alonso Davies. They were solid, they were resolute. And more importantly, when Lewandowski did get that minute, or that second to have a shot or have a chance, they did enough to put him off a bit. I do agree that he should have scored on one or two of those occasions. But you have to give that Bayern Munich defense some credit. They did their job in the instance, as I said, where they were beaten. They were able to get back and make those last-ditch tackles. And it doesn't hurt to have a certain Manuel Neuer in your goal when it all goes wrong for you defensively.
Yeah, Nick, when you look at the game though, and how the game went, the first half, Barca would have won. If it were a boxing match, Barca would have won the first half on points because they were better than Bayern. In the second half, and with the introduction of Leon Goretzka, that's where the game changed, I thought, Nick.
Yeah, initially in the first half, if you watch the game, you could see Xavi and Pedri, who Xavi's just fresh off signing a new deal with a 1 billion release clause, so it doesn't look like he's going anywhere recently, or soon, should I say. And they totally dominated. It was also old school reminiscent of Xavi and Busquets there in the middle, also with Iniesta. It was like old school Barcelona, but just in the second half, they seemed to get a little bit undone in midfield, and they started to get a little bit overran on. And I think that is initially where they lost the game, and obviously they'd go on to lose the game.
Brent, even the best of us, even the most experienced, pressure gets to everybody eventually. And there were two particular finishes, Brent, and I'm going to ask my producer to work with us as we try to zero in, where Lewandowski, if he was at his cool, clinical, if he was normal in his cool, clinical self, he would have put those chances away. There was a chance that he got with Upamecano chasing him, which he fired over the bar. And as the commentator was saying, and I agreed with him, he pulled the trigger just a touch too early. He rushed the shot. And you wouldn't normally expect Robert Lewandowski to rush a shot in that position. And I felt that, well, clearly it's not ability, it's not a know-how issue, it is the occasion. This is the play. Excellent. The cross will come. Well, the ball, he flips it up. And I think that it was just a moment too soon for that strike, which is why he cleared the bar with the effort.
Yeah, I think his first touch as well, George, I would add to that, was poor. Once the ball ballooned into the air, he then made the difficulty levels a bit higher. Look at the first touch here. It should be on the ground, not to the air. Once it hit to the air, it gives Upamecano time to get back. But you're right, there, he hit the ball a bit too low down. It should have probably meet it a bit higher. Hence the reason the ball ballooning. And of course he was leaning backwards as well. All the ingredients for a ball clearing the bar. And you're right, if he wasn't his best, that ball would have stayed on the carpet and he would have snide-footed into the back of the net. Look, strikers of his ilk and his quality have days like this. It's unfortunate it came in his return to Bayern Munich.
Yeah, look, one game doesn't a campaign make. Barca already have 3 points on the board, luckily for them. Bayern have 6, they're in charge of their own destiny. But Nick, I put this to you. Was there enough evident from this Barcelona team under Xavi in the whole game to suggest to you that they have enough to come out of this group and be dangerous for whomever they may face in the latter stages of this competition?
Yes, most definitely. If you take in the first half, for example, you have Lewandowski playing up front. He's really linking the play well. His movement is excellent, and he seems like he's been there for years already. You've then got him linking up with Dembele on the wing, who's electric and probably one of the most exciting players in world football at this moment in time. And also Rafinha, who's moved from Leeds United to Barcelona, and he's really taken to it, and it looks like home for him. So their link-up play, and as well with the midfield, I definitely don't think there's any concerns there for Xavi in passing this group.
I want to ask our producer gentlemen, because I want to hear from all of you in turn. I heard from Brent already because we were doing the Champions League show together. There was an incident in the first half where I thought from real time that Alphonso Davies fouled Ousmane Dembele just inside the 18-yard box. May have been the line. And I want to hear from you. Nick, I thought this was a certain penalty from the run-off play. Seeing it on the replay, I'm even more convinced the referee didn't even give it a second look. What say you?
Yes, for me, it's a most definite penalty, especially as an attacking player. I think the advantage should always be given with the attacking players, but especially when you're moving at that speed. It was a fascinating battle between Dembele and Davies throughout the whole game, and it doesn't take much contact to go down or to knock you off your balance or your stride when you're going at that speed. And with the VAR that they have in place now, it's a real shame that they didn't get that call correctly, and ultimately it could have been a big difference in the game today.
Lance, penalty or no?
Yeah, it looked like a penalty for me. Yeah. I would say so, yeah.
And Brent, you haven't changed your evaluation of the situation?
No, I haven't changed it at all. I think I've seen it given and I've seen it not given as well, and I'm 50-50. And I go back to that beautiful phrase, without reasonable doubt, or the phrase that VAR uses to, of course, come into these sorts of equations. So, yeah, I'm still on the fence with it. I'm not fully sold.
Yeah, and George and our panelists as well, your thoughts on the 62nd minute miss by Pedri. How critical was that? Because that was an opportunity for Barcelona to get back into the game, and with half an hour still left, it could have changed things for them. The Pedri miss in the 62nd minute.
Yeah, look, I think without a doubt, and to, of course, add to what Nick has said, I think what Xavi have done and what Barcelona have done in this game in particular, they have passed that litmus test. Yes, they are genuine title contenders. Of course, the misses throughout the game, that one in particular, as Lance would have mentioned, is a critical part. And throughout the first half, I thought if they had scored, they may have gone on to win the game. However, where I still have my problem, and I've said this from the very, very start, I believe once Barcelona goes deeper into this competition, there are managers in this competition that can outcoach him. And I think that is where Barcelona is going to become outdone. This game in particular, they were spectacular, they were awesome, they missed chances, and that is the reason why they lost. But I think moving forward, I think they may find themselves in a situation being improved.
Yeah, we still have a lot more to talk about here on the SportsMax Zone with regard to the UEFA Champions League group matches today. And we're going after the break to Anfield, where Liverpool stuttering a bit this season, but coming up with a big result today against Ajax. Back with more on the SportsMax Zone after this.